I always wonder when people talk about the people coming over the channel on the rubber dinghies and they're coming in and then they say they get these houses and all that. No, they don't. Because they've got no social security number. They're not given benefits straight away. They may end up getting some. They don't ask themselves, so why are they coming to British shores? Why are they literally going across most of Europe? And of course, compared to Europe, Britain doesn't take as many as some countries. But why come to Britain? Well, it's because they know English. And they know English because Britain went their way and spent a lot of time in some of their countries over the years, in the Middle East or in large parts of Africa and Southeast Asia or wherever. If you grow up in these countries and you look to a lot of people around you speaking English and that's what you've learned apart from your own language, if you have to escape, of course you're going to go to the one place you're going to be better by getting on, knowing the language and so on. And it's a shame that people then use that, oh, they're only coming over here because they're all scroungers and we give them everything they want.
English language, it's a universal language, isn't it? So that's always going to gravitate people to Anglophile nations. But also, the reason that a lot of people want to come over to the Anglophile nations is because they know they're going to be treated pretty well. Because irrespective of what basket cases those nations may be at the moment, invariably we treat people well. They're not likely to be locked up in a ghetto. They're not likely to be pushed into some form of labour camp. They're not likely to be held in solitary confinement somewhere. They will get treated with dignity and respect. Because that's just some of the underlying stuff which is still lingering in our westernised nations, particularly the English-speaking nations. There is a sense of fair play. Now, that's obviously being shouted at, and there is a lot of media amplification of aggravation around migrants and all of that sort of stuff. But that doesn't reflect the whole. I've got my bee in the bonnet about media, because I think media amplification of issues, where they turn negative stories into something that then dominates the headlines, while positive stories are very, very few. Just look at what the BBC has done recently with Trump.
Oh yeah, doctoring that speech.
Why did they do that? Because they wanted to ratchet something up and make it sound like something that it wasn't. That is not what the man said. You may not like the man, you may have total disregard for him, but let's be honest and call what he said what he said. They edited it and they spliced it together to present something that was untrue in order to dominate headlines, in order to create a negative story, to create fear, to create conflict, to drive crisis. Because this is what our media thrive on. You and I, some time ago, and we looked for positive news items.
We couldn't hardly find any, could we?
It's very, very difficult to find. Go around the world, give me some good news stories. And it's like, you what? What are you asking for?